Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this Dell XPS 159570. So first what you're going to want to do is open this little panel up, and then you're going to want to use a PH or JIS1 screwdriver. Okay, so we'll remove these two screws under here. Alright, just like that. Alright, you want to keep all the screws in order because they are different size, shapes, and lengths, and they do use different heads. And you don't want to mix them up. If you mix them up, you actually can cause damage to your computer. Alright, now you're going to want to switch to a Torx 5 or a T5 screwdriver and remove all the screws around the laptop on the bottom. Alright, so these screws, again, you want to keep them in order. I just lay them out in the pattern that I remove them. So this is in a rectangle, and then these are in the center. So I will just put the screws in that layout on my desk. All right. So these screws are somewhat tough to remove. Just remove them all. Okay. 4 along the back, 2 on the sides. 4 more along the front. Okay, just gonna remove all those. I don't know why these screws are so tough to remove. They must use some kind of like thread locker on there, but it looks white and powdery. So actually, oh, there's a little bit of red thread locker actually. I wonder why they're so difficult to remove. Okay, so just remove all the screws. Excuse me. Uh-oh, I'm getting a call, but I need to finish this video. Alright, once you remove all those screws, we're going to remove this cover. You can pull up on the back. If it doesn't come up that way, you might have to use a pry tool, but this is how I remove it. Okay, just like this. Just pull it up. Alright, so hopefully you can follow along. I'm using my thumb and pulling the cover in a little bit as I kind of pull up on it. And there we go. The front is kind of stuck. Oh, there's the magnets on it. So I don't know why this was stuck. This is a microphone. They didn't cover the adhesive all the way, so it kind of stuck a little bit to the front here. But anyways, that's it. Where'd this... Oh, one of these clips came out. Well, put that over there. Alright, so here you can see there's this thermal pad here for the SSD. This is an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. Very standard. You just take the one screw out, it will pop up at an angle, and then you can pull it out. You also want to transfer over that heat pad. Alright, so there's the battery here, which is a, let me see here. Model number is 6GTPY. 6GTPY. I don't know if you can see it, but you'll want to open yours to check that. This customer said their fan is being noisy. It doesn't feel bad, so I'm not too sure which fan exactly is bad. I see it's dusty. It doesn't sound bad. What about this one? I don't know. The fans don't sound bad, so I'm gonna have to put some, see if I can grease them up and see if I can fix those. Yeah, so we're gonna just clean them off with dust. There's a bunch of dust actually in the fan grates here, or the what do you call that? The radiator kind of thing. Alright, so we're gonna check the RAM now. Just pull these 2 tabs to the side. Same goes for the other stick. There's 8 gig PC4 2666V. So 16 gigs total. I don't recommend going beyond that unless you really need it. Some people will put like 32 gigs or something, but most people won't need that much RAM. Alright, so anyways, there's the battery. If you want to remove it, there's a little part of the battery plastic connector that sticks up, so you can actually grab that and wiggle it and pull the connector back to pull it out. I'm going to leave that in. But if you want to remove it, you want to remove all the screws from here and take it out. So I'm not going to remove stuff I don't need to because it can cause damage. There's the DC jack or the charge port here. If you want to replace that, if you broke it, or if it's having charging issues, you can actually get a replacement charge port and then remove this connector and plug the new one in and test that before you actually go ahead and install it completely. If you go and install this, you do have to remove the 3 screws here and then open the screen slightly and then drop it down to get the hinge to slightly go up to remove that. And this also, the LCD LVDS cable is in the way. If you do take this bracket out to remove that connector, you are going to have to press and hold the power button for about 10 to 15 seconds after removing the battery and the power source. Otherwise, you can cause damage to the main board. So keep that in mind. There's the wireless card here. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and, remove the fans here. And I'm going to see if it's possible to grease them. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to take the whole motherboard out. Hopefully not, just to grease these fans. But we will see. Okay, it looks like I can take out the fan without... Oh, that's good. Okay, so what we're going to do to remove the fan connectors, it has this plastic connector with wings on them. I just used my fingernail and I just grab it and wiggle it and it pops out just like that. The only thing with this fan, it looks like it's held in place with these little plastic melted tabs. So I'm going to have to cut those off to get that. But here you can see the fan area is pretty gross. So I'm going to have to clean that up. So it looks like to remove this fan, I'm going to actually have to take out that bracket. So let's remove the screws from this side as well. And then we'll remove this bracket. Okay. Just like that. Alright. And lift that out just like that. And now we got both those screws out. You want to be careful again because this LCD LVDS connector is threaded under here. And we are going to have to try and get that out. There we go, just like that. Again, if you are going to remove this connector, make sure that you disconnect the battery and press and hold the power button with the screen open for about 10 to 15 seconds. It's very important so you don't risk damaging the main board. Alright, so I'm going to unplug that as well. I believe on this, the battery also acts as the BIOS or CMOS battery. So once you unplug that, it'll take a while to boot back up. Keep that in mind, because some people will think they broke the computer. Alright, anyways, that's pretty much all there is. I'm going to clean out these fans, and then I'll take the fans apart. I'll see if I can figure out which fan is making the noise. I'll take it apart, and then I'll show how to repair the fan. But other than that, that's pretty much all there is to it. I'm going to use this toothbrush and then clean off all this dirt and dust. And yeah, so I'm going to do this off into a trash can. The computer I'm actually going to take outside and then blow the dust out after I loosen it up with the toothbrush. So you basically just use the toothbrush and then scrub the propellers out. Okay, the way I do it is I hold the blades while I kind of brush it, so that way it keeps some resistance, so as you brush it, it like kind of can brush actually the whole propeller blades. Okay. So there you go. So the fan's good now. It's all clean. I still don't hear any propeller noise that he's talking about, so it's completely normal. So I'm going to clean this one as well, and we shall see. Brushing this stuff off into a trash can next to me, though it's better to do this outside because the dust will kind of float around and then it'll just get on everything. But I feel like a slight vibration, but almost like it's almost non-existent. So I don't know if cleaning this is actually going to help at all. We'll find out. Okay, I'm going to clean off this stuff. Again, I'm going to just brush it off into the trash can next to me, because I don't want to go outside right now. It's like really late right now, like 9 or 10. Okay, so we cleaned out all that dust here. Now I'm just going to use this to blow out any remaining dust. Okay, just like that. And then, I don't know which fan is bad, but let me see if I can tell just from blowing this. I'm wondering if it's just the dust that was getting caught making the noise. I mean, the fans look perfectly fine, so usually if you spin them, if they kind of like wobble at the end after spinning, then you know they're okay. If it like spins and just gets stuck, then you know the fan's bad. But anyways, there's the right fan, the left fan. I'm gonna open up the right fan just to show you. Let me get a darker background so it's easier to see. Okay, I don't like working on this foam because it's too smushy and then it makes it hard to work on, but let's see if I can show this. All right. So what you're gonna do on the fan, they have these little plastic pieces that stick up. So what you're gonna do is get a razor blade like this, and what you do is you just slice the plastic off. You want to be careful, go slowly. If you go too fast, you can end up like the blade can jump and then cut you. So you want to go slow, just like this. Okay, so there's another one down here. Alright, just like that. There's another one right here. You want to be careful not to cut the screw mounts and stuff. There we go. And then there's one more here, it looks like. Hopefully that's all of them. Sometimes they like to hide these things underneath these adhesive foam things. Hopefully that's not the case. Let's see. Okay, yep. So here you go. Once you remove all of those, you can actually pull this cover off. They did put a tape on here so it stays in place. And then, yes, we can remove the propeller blades. So what we want to do now is take some synthetic motor oil, or I don't know what other high-speed oil you can use. Somebody used like sewing oil, whatever you have that. You want to be careful though. Make sure it's like something that's used with electronics or moving parts. You don't want to use like cooking oil and stuff. That stuff will get gunky really quick and it will actually make your fan worse. So what you do, I just get a needle, I get a little of the oil on there, and then I just drop it in the center into the bearing. Okay, just like that. Alright, once you get the oil in there, if you want, you can actually clean this out, get like a piece of paper towel, napkin or something, and you can actually clean off this, the whatever you call that, the shaft, and then you can use your toothbrush and then get in the propeller blades more. Make sure to get all the dust out. You don't want to do it over this because you can get the dust in there, so try and keep the dust from going into that. Alright, anyways, once you're done, just put the fan propellers back on. Alright, make sure it goes in, and here you can see it spins really smoothly. I mean, it was already not too bad, but it is smoother now, so I don't know if you can see the wobble afterwards. So the way it like wobbles after it stops spinning, that's how you know the fan is really well lubricated. Alright, so now I'm just going to get the rest of this dust out. Okay, we're going to close this up. I'm actually going to do both fans because why not? We already have it open. So they put a piece of tape here. I'm just going to get some tape and wrap it around these sides as well. And that will keep the fan from coming apart. Okay, so you can use any kind of tape. I like this thin kind of packaging tape. It works a lot, but it works really well for holding those pieces together. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to cut pieces of this tape. Get the tape and then just wrap it over where that plastic melted piece was. That will just hold it in place. Alright, so okay, this one is on a weird bump, so you can't really wrap it over the same spot, so I'm going to go right behind it and just tape that down. Alright, And then this side already has tape, so it doesn't really need it, but I guess I'll just put some anyways. I'll just put a little bit. Okay, same thing. Wrap some tape on there. Wrap it over. Wrap some tape on there and wrap it over. Alright, that's how you fix the fan. So we are going to do the other one as well. Okay, same thing. Get the razor blade. We're just going to cut these plastic things off. Okay. Alright. Oh, that one flew away. This one actually has more plastic pieces. This one has 5. I think the other one only had 4, but anyways, doesn't really matter. Oh, this one I have to do it this way. Because the foam is in the way. It's actually shredding the metal a little bit. Okay. There we go. Alright, so now that we got that, we should be able to lift this one up as well. Yep, just like that. Same thing, we can brush off the propeller blades now that it's more open. Okay, you can pull the propeller blades off, hold that, and then brush that off. Okay, we can use the napkin, wipe it off. Alright, get out the rest of this dust in here. Alright, and then same thing, we're going to just add some grease and then put the propeller blades back on. Oops, too much. You just want like a small drop. Alright, get that in there. Mix it around a little bit. Okay, that should be good. Depending how bad your fans are, you can actually put grease, clean out the grease that got the gunk up, and then add grease again. But anyways, we're going to put this back in there, spin it around. You can see it's nice and smooth. Okay, should be good. Let's flip this back over on top. Put that back in place, and again, get some tape. And do the same thing. Okay. Just like that. Put the tape on. Alright, get the tape on. And it doesn't need all the tape the way they have it, so we're just going to put it around here. Alright. Just like that. And that should be good enough that you can't pull this back apart. Alright, so we're good to go. I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to clean this cover off. Okay. This isn't very dusty, so looks okay, but I'll just clean it anyways because there's some dust in it. Okay, alright, so now we're gonna put the computer back together. Just grab the computer. Alright, grab the fans. Make sure you put the right one in the right spot. And then make sure to get this cable back in as well. So I'm going to tuck that in first, and then I'm going to do that. Alright, they marked this with a little red dot on top, but all you need to know is these little silver pins you can see from the bottom of this side of the connector. This side you can't see the pins, and that's the side that you want facing up. Make sure you put the connector in straight before you kind of push it, or I like to pinch the two pieces together like that. If you try and put it in crooked at an angle, you can actually damage it. Alright, same thing with this one. They put a red dot on it. You don't want to put the side with that silver pins facing up, so make sure the silver pins are facing down. Alright, this is if you were to buy a new fan and the pins were like, sometimes these cables might be twisted around. Okay, so now we're gonna get this all lined up again. Alright, go ahead again with the PH1 or JIS1 screwdriver, and we'll put back the fan screws here. Just like that. Oops. There we go. Get this metal bracket. Alright. Make sure you get it lined up here and lined up down there. Alright. I'm going to put the screw in loosely at first here. Come on, stop sticking to everything. Alright. I'll put this screw in. Now that the fan is lined up, I'm going to tighten it down. Alright, and if you're wondering what these foam pieces are for, when you put the cover on, it creates a seal so that the air can only blow this way. Without these foam pieces, the air could actually go backwards, and then it won't cool as efficiently. Alright, so that's pretty much all there is to this. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like and subscribe. Help others find my videos. I'm going to put the bottom cover back on. But this is pretty much all you need for this tutorial, hopefully. Alright, so let's put this cover back on. Make sure that everything is clipped into place. There we go. We're going to put the middle PH1 or JS1 screws first, just because we're already using that screwdriver. Okay, just like that. Just like this. Okay, that, close that up. Alright, go back to the T5 and put back all those screws. Okay. Just like this. Alright, and a lot of people ask me like a lot of questions on these computers, but they are customers' computers, so I don't own these. So if you have some question, if I like experimented with things, I don't usually experiment on my customers' computers. So other than trying to figure out how to open them, of course, because these are like computers that are new, I haven't worked on them before. So yeah, there are cases where they're very similar. This is very similar to a lot of the DELL XPS. But yeah. Alright. A lot of times on these, I actually can't even pull the cover up, and I have to use a pry tool to get it apart. But this one actually came up. Other than that weird clip there, I don't know how it like snapped off so easily, but I don't know. Yeah, anyways, that's pretty much all there is to this. All the screws are back in. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!